This is Samantha Lindsay with Samolia Alliances, and I'm here with Rodney Mack from Total CAE. Total CAE is a Samolia hardware partner, and they've been a partner with us since 2013. They are the IT department for engineers. They sell, support, and manage turnkey high-performance computing clusters and products designed for Abacus as well as other Samolia products. This helps reduce turnaround time and increase productivity. With that, I'd like to turn this over to Rodney Mack, and he is going to give us a brief overview on what Total CAE can do for you.
All right, thanks a lot. This is Rod Mack. We are the IT department for engineers. We've spent over 19 years in high-performance computing, specializing in CAE and CFD applications for both Linux and Windows. And we are basically a one-stop shop. All we do is manage our engineering IT environments to help provide solutions to keep engineers productive. So one of the things that customers come to us often is like, hey, we need to reduce the runtime. We're running, Abacus, running FE Safe. We need to get the runtime down because, we have a shortened design lifecycle. So one of the solutions that we offer is a turnkey high-performance compute cluster. Basically, this is an appliance that you put in your data center, and you basically drag your models onto this appliance and push the button, and the results come back. Everything that's included to get that result is part of the solution. The hardware, the operating system, the middleware, the portals, all the engineering applications, all the Samolia portfolio, all your license managers, and we include the IT department with it. So not only are we providing you the hardware and the software and everything you need, we're also managing this entire environment for you as part of your partner, as your IT dedicated partner just for you to keep the solution running 24/7 by 365. We basically take draw a dotted line around all those resources, and we are the only throat to choke. You don't have to go to multiple different vendors. We produce all of the technology that's needed inside of this bubble to make sure that we can solve your problem. So you only need to come to us, and we will make sure we resolve that problem. If there's any critical issue, we have 1 hour response time to make sure that problem is resolved, keeping your engineers productive. One throat to choke. This is all driven by our web portal. This is a simple-to-use portal that lets you submit all your engineering data and manage your workflows on the cluster. So the cluster, we don't have to worry about what operating system is. You don't have to learn Linux. You don't have to know anything about a scheduler. All you have to do is give us your model, push the button, you'll get the results back, and you can manage it all through this one interface, all of your applications. And we support about 30 more additional applications today. If you have any custom applications, they can also be integrated very easily into this portal workflow. We have a lot of customers that do come to us, and they have a challenge where they're trying to assemble this on their own, put a bunch of different parts together, or maybe they're having another vendor try to do this. And the challenge is that if these are very complex solutions, and if you miss just one piece, the whole thing doesn't function quite right. So sometimes you can get a vendor to deliver you a solution, and it seems to work right off the bat, but then that vendor is going to leave, and that vendor leaves you kind of on your own to try to keep it running, or maybe they'll only come back once a quarter or once a year to try to help out. In our case, however, when there's a problem and you need an immediate solution, you're stuck there trying to read the manual or even figure out what could possibly be wrong. Is it the code? Is it is it a version of Abacus? Is your model? And that's where we come in, is we actually proactively manage the system. We're there 24 hours a day as your IT department, proactively keeping that system running. If there's any problem whatsoever, you just call us, and we are the people to fix it. And often we have a lot of automated checks on the system. We call them bots, automatically scanning the system for issues and trying to remediate them, automatically fixing issues and opening tickets with our help desk to investigate if there was a problem. Because we want to keep that system running, peak performance all the time. We're running on a fixed cost month to month. We definitely want to make sure that you're running efficiently, and we have aligned goals. The more efficient you are, the better we are, and we work as a team to keep that system running at peak performance. This is kind of shows you what's included in the system. On the left is all your hardware and everything needed to run. On the right is all the Total CAE tools that are included, including the scheduler and the portal. And on top is all of your engineering applications that we support. For example, the Abacus, Safe, Tosca, any of the applications that you want to run, all are supported, including all their license management and license reporting. And then it's all based on our IT department services that are included. So we are managing all cases for you. We are the people installing the next version of Abacus, upgrading license servers, automating the workflows. We do 100% of everything to do with the solution to keep you running. So we're going to go through a couple of case studies here of various projects that we've helped with many types of customers, and we hope that you maybe identify one of these problems as maybe a problem you're having. You can see how we've resolved these solutions for other customers. This particular customer is an auto customer, and they were running on workstations some important Abacus and EpiSafe jobs. The Abacus jobs are taking about a day, and the EpiSafe jobs, they're larger jobs, take about 4 hours, and they wanted to be able to, shorten that time. That wasn't that was getting just too long. Once a day engineering, they really wanted to get into multiple times per day engineering to be able to do just more iterations. So we put in this cluster system. We helped manage it so that their IT department didn't have to manage the complexity. We took all of those models. We took them from 4 hours down to 10 minutes. So twice a day engineering for EpiSafe to basically 6 times an hour. Same thing with the Abacus models. We got those down to 30 minutes. They're able to do a lot more engineering in the same amount of time. Basically with just a little better tool managed by professionals. And that really made a huge impact on what they were able to deliver using basically the same engineering team. And we also had cases where we have projects where there needs to be a very quick turnaround. Their cluster is very busy on premise. They bring a new project that they might take on that says needs more resources that they have in-house. So we provide public cloud computing solutions as well that let the engineer basically run their models on a public cloud like Amazon EC2 or on Azure. And we're able to basically get those jobs turned around without going through a long procurement cycle. Often they can then dip their toe in the water to try out high-performance computing without necessarily to have to take any kind of investment. And you do get a very kind of similar performance as you do on-premise. However, it is at a much higher cost whenever you're renting versus buying. It's a little more expensive for a long type of constant usage. So we did have a customer that had this challenge. They had a project come on board. It wasn't guaranteed they'd win the project, but they needed to do almost immediately an engineering analysis that they didn't have the resources for. So we spun up this cloud. They were able to run their models on that public cloud using their on-premise licensing. And when the project was basically finished, they were able to meet their deadline, much shorter than they would have been able to bring the hardware in. They were able to actually win that business, and then to save money because they were now going to be doing a new constant level of engineering for this project they won. They brought the cluster the cluster resources in-house to expand their current cluster to save money, and it was definitely a win-win. And the one nice thing about our solution is the engineer, when we spin up the cloud, had no change in workflow. They literally pointed their browser from the Total CE portal on-premise to the Total CE cloud system, and able to run all their jobs with no change. And one of the engineers from this project told us, we really like the efficiency. We did not have to change anything, learn anything new. We just changed our browser, pushed the button, the answer came back just like it was before, and they really appreciated that they were able to get their job done and focus on the engineering and not have to focus so much on the cloud or even care, any of the details. They just were able to get their work done and just focus more on engineering and less on IT. Another case study here was we have a lot of customers that are running maybe on a cluster, but they're trying to determine what is the most efficient way to run these jobs. We could run them at 8 CPU. Should we run them at 20 CPU? And often it's not the way that they get ran is not the most efficient. There isn't a scientific process behind the number of CPUs that are chosen. And so Total CA goes in, and we kind of do a scientific analysis to help customers determine what is the efficient CPU usage for any particular job. So for this customer, they were running a lot of small station jobs on their cluster, which was actually the most expensive way and the slowest way to run. We went in and said, well, with your token counts, you could actually run at 96 or 144 CPUs. That is the optimal way to run that job. If you ran that job all day, 24 hours a day, you'd actually save 40% over the way they were currently running it. So quite a bit of savings, and the customer then moved to this model that we recommended, and were able to get their jobs much, much faster at an overall much cheaper cost. We also have a problem across the board in engineering of just we generate a lot of data. Engineers generate tons of data, and often they're not able to keep that data. So it has to be automatically cleaned up, or the engineer has to make a decision of which kind of data do they want to keep. And IT typically is not able to back up the amount of data that engineers make. So they will sometimes try to copy what they think might be important data during certain phases of the project lifecycle onto like external drives, onto local machines, wherever they can find to store it. And so this customer came to us with this exact challenge and wanted to keep the data. They said, we'd like to keep all the data for about a year. It's actually more expensive for us to clean this data up, to have pay an engineer to clean data when we really just want to store it all in case we might need it. And then we have some data we want to keep forever. And so their IT department, they were generating more data than the entire global company combined, and there wasn't really a cost-effective way for them to do it. So Total CAE made a product to solve this problem. It's called Storage Camel. And what it effectively does is like an endless bit bucket for engineers to dump data onto. We securely encrypt all the data locally on your client, so only your company can read it, but Total CAE can't read your data, and then it's securely offloaded offsite. It only costs about 2 pennies per gigabyte, and it's totally transparent to the user. They don't have to change anything. They don't have to change their workflow. Everything is automatic. They have snapshots, so if they would accidentally mess up a file or an input deck, they can go back on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis to find the version that they were looking for. And all the data is kept. That includes the ODBs, all the outputs. They don't have to pick and choose, what to keep. And that is a very, very high durability, which means it's very, very safe to keep that data, unlike keeping on like an external drive, which is very insecure and also is not very reliable. And so this solution saved about 24x over what they could have done in-house with their tape solution, and it was much more secure and a much higher reliability than having any type of external type of rotatable storage. And the operational cost for this was effectively zero because it was completely lights out managed by Total CAE. We're already, in this case, managing the cluster for the customer. So this was just a simple add-on that enabled them to be even more productive without having to change really anything that we were doing with them, just providing the solution that they needed. We have other customers that are looking to do, better designs. Everybody wants to get better designs. The more you can do in the design phase, the more you can impact savings in the total product, improve warranty. And so a lot of customers are challenged, though, on a workstation that there's only so many designs they can do. They still need to make presentations and use that workstation for other functions. And so we often put in a cluster to drive many types of simulations using iSight. So we're able to hook up iSight to the cluster, take advantage of the reduced token usage with iSight, and run many, many iterations and share it amongst many engineers. So 3 or 4 engineers share a single pooled high-performance compute system that we're managing, and run those iSight jobs and do many, many more simulations per day, more than they could do on a workstation, and free that workstation up to do their reports and other functions. All the simulation and all those iterations are all automated with iSight and pushed onto the cluster. And finally, everybody has some budget constraints. We had a particular customer that had very limited budget. They couldn't purchase necessarily a cluster system. They didn't have, couldn't get more tokens, but they had pressure to reduce the time that it was taking them to run. So at no charge, we basically analyzed the models for the user and determined that their models actually were pretty good fit for GPU computing. And so they were able to get a lot of speed up with Abacus without any really additional cost, no more token cost, and just a very, small investment to get a GPU once they had proven and seen the speed ups they could get. And they had immediate benefit for really a very small investment, and all we were able to get, help that customer even when they had limited resources. So if any of these items that we talked about are challenges that you face, or maybe you have a unique challenge that you're not sure how to solve, that's kind of what we specialize in. Total CAE specializes in solving problems that engineers have, try to make their life easier and better, and make your life more productive. So please contact us here at www.totalcae.com, or you can reach out at rod@totalcae.com and see how we might be able to help you with your engineering challenge.